Hi there, Giants. It's Jim here, and I wanted to do something a little bit different this season. I wanted to start off by doing a presentation, sending you the coaching plan. Hopefully, I can upload this and you guys will watch it before the first session on Saturday, which I'm really, really looking forward to, and I hope you guys also are looking forward to. So I thought that maybe I could do this so that you could watch it and you could get a good understanding of what I want to try and accomplish this year. I think you're going to be really, really excited by the results. Honestly, I think this is probably going to be a really, really good year for us if we stick to doing a couple of things like recruiting and getting more players onto the field, and then working on some of our skills and fitness. I think we're going to win some games, and I'm really looking forward to the year ahead. So why are we doing this? We're an amateur and recreational Aussie rules football club. We emphasise community, participation, competitiveness and a fierce Australian-American culture. We've always put a focus on growing the sport locally, and we have a majority of local American talent on our list. I think we want to make sure that we maintain this, and we want to recruit from the local area as much as possible, and I'm really, really looking forward to growing the club here in our region. I think it would be absolutely tremendous for us to have a really good competitive team here in Orange County. So that said, 2025 is a building year for us. We've kind of recognised that over the last couple of years, players have moved away, and we've got to recognise that there's a transitive nature for players, which means we have to build the club to have more talent. We need to bring in new blood, and I think we need to make sure that we, even personally as players in the club, that we're actively going out there and seeking people to come and make our club bigger and better. We have to engage with the local broader OC community, and I think that means that even my role as a coach, we need to create conditions in which people can thrive in the playing environment. As well as a sports club and non-profit, we also need to set solid business foundations, and as part of that, I want to build a good, strong club because around our coaching, because if we win games, we're going to necessarily attract more people to the club. It really is that simple. We'll get more money, we'll get more sponsorship as a result of winning games and having a really good, rich and dynamic club. So the more that we work on our games and our training, I think we'll have better results, which will give us a better standing in the community. So what did we do well in 2024? Well, there were some areas that we can improve upon, but there are some really, really good areas that worked, and I really want to focus on those things really first up, because you guys did a tremendous job in making sure we have a terrific club. And one of the things that really, really worked well was that we created some structure and some desired effects around the game plan, which was really good. We had some really, really good ball interactions there on fields in the games that we won, so I'm really, really pleased with that performance. We've coupled that with some really good skills fundamentals, so I'm really, really pleased with the level of commitment to developing our skills at training. We've had a lot of really good social events, and which has resulted in way better team cohesion and camaraderie. So thank you all for participating in those social events. It really has made us a much better, vibrant club. The team was better prepared for match days. I mean, seriously, we were getting to games earlier, we were putting our boots on, we were getting warmed up, we were prepping the field on home games. I think all of those things were absolutely tremendous. We did really, really, really well last year on prepping for match days. Training sessions were sharp. We had good skills that were developing. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and I think this is going to be something that we will be able to feed off for this year. And of course, we cannot forget that we won 3 games. This is a 300% improvement. It was absolutely tremendous, and I really want to thank you all for the commitment that you had to producing those wins. That was absolutely tremendous, and I'm really, really proud of the result. Proud of you, all you guys, and hopefully we can carry that forward. Remember, you guys did this. It was all of your efforts in keeping this club together. So thank you for that. So last year we developed a semblance of a game plan. We have a game plan, and this time we want to really kind of think about it in terms of a structured, controlled advance. We will continue with last year's 5 main tactical on-field objectives. So we're taking the game plan and we're building on it with key skills and conditioning to improve the chances of the plan's success. Number 2, we're developing structured responses to different phases of play when the ball is in our possession, when the ball is in the opposition's possession, and in contested situations. And these contested situations can be when no one has the ball and maybe it's out in the middle of the field and two of us are chasing it, or where we're going for a contested mark, or we're in the middle of the corridor somewhere perhaps, and there's a chance that we might be able to turn it over. And so those that are less or more than 50-50, we've got to be able to understand what the next move is for us in those contested situations. And then finally, we want to enhance fitness, agility, reaction time, acuity, and game vision, which will then ultimately increase ball movement and recognise patterns of play. And this last bit is really, really important because patterns of play are going to be a really important function of how we're going to make better decision-making skills. But first of all, a couple of glossaries, a couple of terms that we're going to be using, definitions. We're certainly going to be using a lot of zone formatting this year. Last year we didn't use it so much. We had experimented a little bit with it the year before, but this time we're going to be using it a whole lot more. So there's 3 main zones of defence, 3 main zones on the field: zone defence, zone midfield, and zone forward. We also got the corridor that we're going to be thinking about. Now we have touched on creating the fat side corridor, and we're going to continue to do that as well this year. And we'll look at that in just a moment. But the corridor is a really, really important way in which we're moving the ball through the centre space, right? Through how we're going to clear the ball through that centre square. This is the area where most of the play will occur. Statistically speaking, that is where most of the game's main activities happen. So we need to figure out our strategic advantage right there in that corridor area. We're going to be using a lot more of the lines. So where's the goal line? Where's the contested line? Where are our work lines? These are all kind of imaginary lines which we're going to be using a lot more going forward. Certainly on the contest line, we're going to be looking at that as being where we lock the ball in, and we're going to be using our forward half. It gives us a little bit more flexibility than just saying our forward third. I want to do that because our midfields this year, I think, are going to take a greater role than in previous times in kicking goals and making plays for the forward line. So I really, really want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for those kinds of successes. We've touched a little bit upon the fat side and the thin side before. We've certainly got a fat side drill and a fat side part of the game plan that we've worked on. So I really want to continue that. And then, of course, the scoring zone. That area right in front of the goals and right in front of the behinds where we're most likely to score and win games. So the hot spot, we want to make sure that we're concentrating our efforts in delivering the ball right into that hot spot area in the scoring zone. So this year, these are the areas that we're going to be focusing on a lot, or a lot more. I'm not going to go into our game plans from last year in great detail in this presentation, but suffice it to say that we will continue to maintain the 5 tactical on-field objectives, but this year we're going to make it stickier with improvements in key targeted areas, and we'll go on to those in just a moment. So the first part of that is the counter-attack part 1, setting up that corridor on that fat side. The counter-attack part 2 is advancing the ball through the fat side corridor. Number 3 is the fat side inside 50 delivery. That is, we're going to deliver the ball into that hot part, that hot zone where we want that scoring opportunities to happen most. We're going to concentrate on centre clearances, and we're going to also look at stoppage clearances in our forward 50. I'm not so worried this year about clearances on the boundary. We will use that as part of some of the more kind of dynamic parts of our drills when we work on stoppages. We will move out to the boundary line. We'll work on some of those boundary throw-ins, but we're not going to make it central to our game. Right now, I really do want to concentrate on our centre clearances and our stoppage clearances so that we increase our tempo from about what we're seeing right now is about 10 in every 12 that we're losing to about 7 in 12 that we're winning. Those are the kinds of stats that I'd really like to see us gain momentum this year. So really, really want to make sure that we're working on those centre clearances as much as possible this year. Our guiding principles for 2025 will be these 5 key objectives. 1 is to create some structured responses around what happens when we have the ball, when the opposition has the ball, in contested situations. We want to make sure that we're improving our skills, both fundamental skills and ball control. Those fundamental skills are handballing and kicking primarily, but there are other skills too, bouncing the ball, moving on the run. Winning objectives, making sure that we have some targets in our wins, right? We're not just saying, well, we want to make sure that we win anyway. We want to make sure that we're winning by margins, and we want to plan out those games so that we know what to do when we've got a given opposition. We want to make sure that we've effectively implemented the game plan. So we have good game awareness, we understand our options, and we know our vision. This will improve our decision making on the field. And then we want to enhance our fitness. We really, really want to work on fitness, our agility, and our reaction times this year. But of course, the devil's in the details. Objectives at training sessions and game day, we'll look at 3 core areas. These will guide us and form the basis of our trainings and games. 1, continue to improve on last year's implementation of the game plan. We're going to enhance this with game awareness, options, game vision, and fundamental skills. We're going to develop structured responses to the different phases of play. 1, when we have the ball. 2, when the opposition has the ball. And 3, in those contested situations. And finally, we're going to enhance our fitness, our agility, our reaction time, and our game vision. So we have better chance at taking advantage of those opportunities on the field and winning games. My coaching philosophy for this year, I have 4 overarching themes. Number 1, maximise ball control and efficiency, keeping the ball off the ground and executing efficient disposal, reducing turnovers and enhancing structured ball movement. That is, advancing the ball into our forward line. Field positioning and space utilisation, understanding when to attack centrally versus using width. This is critical to breaking down opposition's structures. Number 3, adaptability and game intelligence. Players must read the play dynamically, adjusting positions and tactics based on the game's flow, making better decisions that will get us to win more games. And finally, sustained pressure and contest mentality. We must develop a better contest mentality so that when we go out onto the field, we win games. We take advantage of those opportunities, right? And we go in hard. A strong defensive mindset leads to more forced turnovers and then ultimately more scoring opportunities for us. So what does this look like visually? Well, defensive turnovers, emphasising ball control to create opportunities. Adaptive play. Adaptive play requires efficient ball control and game reading. Central attack, which maximises field positioning so that we can sustain pressure on our opposition, and wide play, which utilises space to enhance game adaptability. And in the past, we haven't used all of the whole field to our advantage. This year, I think we're going to work a whole lot more on using the width of the field in order to gain some additional advantage. Again, we're going to stick to the same plan, but we're going to have this controlled advance through better decision making and dynamic play, where the new plan is designed to build upon last year's structure while adding additional layers. Think of it like this. Last year's game plan remains the fundamental. Those 5 key areas are still going to be very, very critical, really crucial to us. This year's focus, however, will focus more on the phases of play and keeping possession structured, which will enhance what we already built. Last year, we set up structures and fundamental gameplay. This year, think of it as executing that under pressure, making better decisions, and adapting dynamically. To achieve this, I've created training themes and focus areas. Number 1, warm-up and activation, approximately 15 to 20 minutes. We'll be working on things like mobility, ball handling under movement, and reaction drills. Our warm-ups will definitely change from last year. Skills and decision making. Drills that will take approximately 30 to 40 minutes. These will be targeted around skills, particularly related to the theme of the session. That might be ball movement, that might be fat side forward 50 delivery, that might be clearances from the centre bounce. It depends on what that theme of the session is for that day. Game plan execution, 20 to 30 minutes. These will be drills that reinforce structured play in real game scenarios. So think of this as like short format scenarios, keep away drills, that kind of thing. And then finally, match simulation, 20 to 30 minutes, small-sided or full field drills to apply learnings from previous sessions or the session of the day under isolated match conditions. But why do we have this structure? Well, short drills with high intensity will simulate match conditions and enhance our game fitness. Game-like drills will reinforce tactical decision making and pattern recognition. And repetitive skill execution under pressure will build muscle memory and confidence. Our priorities around skills concentration will be 1, keeping the ball off the ground, so taking possession cleanly and then disposing it before pressure, hopefully before pressure. Weekly fitness focus split into speed and agility, things like ladder drills, short sprints, quick change directional runs, endurance, game-based small-sided continuous play, reaction time, visual cue reaction drills. 3, game vision and decision making, scanning before disposal, forcing decision making under pressure. And then finally, small-sided games, which increase ball movement efficiency, intensity, and then finally walkthroughs, which will reinforce reading of the play. So I will physically take you through the walkthrough of the drill, show you where the ideal position is for you to be, and then we will hopefully execute those in real time. Look, Giants, I really, really think we have a turnaround year. I think this is really, really good that we can reinforce what we learnt last year and our achievements, our accomplishments from last year's three wins, and we can really make this season shine. I really, really wish you the best of luck, Giants. And if you need me for anything, please reach out to me, either by email, if you want more advice, you want one-on-one sessions, you want to talk to me online, please feel free to do that. Reach out to me however way you can. I'm available whenever you want. Please let me know if after games, after training sessions, please let me know what your needs are, and let's see if we can accomplish that. If you've got any personal objectives that you want to achieve during the season, please let me know. I'm happy to help out. Look, thanks very much, and hopefully we'll have a really, really great season in 2025. Good luck, Giants. See you on the field.